Hi everyone and welcome back to National League Lowdown with me, Dan. As you can see, I'm joined by my usual co-hosts. Craig, how are you, mate? You okay?
Yeah, very well, thank you, Dan. Very well, thank you.
Good. And Mark, you okay, mate?
Aloha, everybody. Yes, all is well. All is well. Good win in the cup on Saturday against Nantwich Town for Mac. Marine on Saturday though, and got to exercise some ghosts from 2 years ago.
Yeah, no, good result in there for you. Yeah, good result for my team as well. We'll come to them later on as well. Craig, obviously, good point for you guys as well. So we'll come on to that as well. So yeah, we'll get straight into it. We're going to deep dive the first 6 games. So first up was I wouldn't say it was a massive shock given the form that Scunthorpe are in, but for me, Scunthorpe 3, York 1. I think York are a good side that obviously hammered Carlisle last week 5-0. Scunthorpe going there still unbeaten. Craig, what did you make of this one?
Yeah, so this is the game I spent a bit more time on Wednesday night watching. I was obviously flicking between the two, and Scunthorpe was good value for it. It wasn't a smash and grab by any state of the mind. It was obviously Louis, when we done the predictions last week, said he expects York to be all over him and Scunthorpe to maybe smash and grab it. But if anything, it was a very complete performance that had a minor dip, conceding in stoppage time, but then they just went up the other end and grabbed the third and kind of consolidated the victory. And we've talked about Scunthorpe being the dark horse, but when do we talk about them being a full threat towards that title? And this could be the time. They're a few games behind the other teams, but they're still unbeaten. They're flying. They've got some excellent players. Their recruitment's been fantastic. We haven't mentioned these names too much on there because of the goal scorers, but Ollie Ewing, I believe it is, or Ewing.
Ewing,
They've signed from Leicester City. Now, if you're Asher House sitting at Morecambe after signing all these ex-Leicester players, you're thinking, how did I let this one get away? But maybe he was obviously done before he took over there. But yeah, he's been a revelation in their midfield, and the firepower they've got going forward. They've got so much going forward that they can rotate, and if it's not quite working, then Joey Dawson can come on. Sellers Fleming come on and scored a goal. They're absolutely flying going forwards, and they don't concede that many either. So if you can score goals and not let many in, you're going to end up in them upper echelons of the table all the time, and that's exactly where they're going. And right now, it's hard to rule them out of the title race. I think they're being it when push comes to shove. Probably not, but why not? Why not? They're absolutely flying.
Yeah, it was a real statement win. I know, obviously, I was watching the Carlisle game, so I didn't see it, but I seen the scores coming in and things, and I was like, I was surprised because obviously York are a great team, and the hammered Carlisle, like I say, recently, but Scunthorpe, like I said, good value for it, and I think at this point now, it's like, what's stopping them? Like I said, we've talked about the strength in depth. We've talked about, if one striker isn't firing, they can bring somebody else on. I think as long as they stay relatively injury-free, even if they do get some, it's not the end of the world. I don't see why they can't be up there. I really don't. They've got the consistency. They've got Carlisle at the weekend. I know, me personally, I'm dreading us going there on Saturday night because I think it could be a long evening for us on Saturday. Mark, what did you make of this one, mate?
Well, that 6th place prediction all the way back a couple of months. If you're looking on Twitter, please go and refer to that. I think is a very underestimated them. I mean, yeah, they're doing absolutely brilliant. I mean, you say about who they've got up front. I mean, Danny Whitehall, Callum Roberts, Declan Howe, Joey Dawson, the Loney as well. Ollie Ewing in that midfield. Sellers Fleming, thank you. Nice to have you on board, mate. Yeah, Ollie Ewing has been going in that midfield, but Andrew Boyce in the centre of that fence as well, the captain. He is part of the Scunthorpe fabric, and I think it's Will Evans. I've got Will Evans, his defensive partner. When you've got reliable defenders, and Boyce has got that experience as well. When you've got that spine of a team, it is very, very hard to not think we can beat these guys. York, they could have done really with having a very, very easier running. And I'm not saying for the quality of opponents, it's the fact that they've had so many games postponed that they're having to catch up, and they're going to get a few results because they're trying to desperately get back into that position, and desperation makes silly mistakes. But Scunthorpe on Tuesday night, they look the real deal. They look, David Dickinson, that's the real deal.
Yeah, another player that impressed me is Alfie Beeston as well. He's been on fire as well. I wrote a preview for my blog that I do, and he was one of the players I picked out for Scunthorpe. There's one to watch. I think he scored 2 in his last 2. I think 3 in his last 4, something like that. So again, another player. They've just got it all over the pitch, which tells me, what's stopping them from staying in that title race. And like I say, as for York, I think they will be up there at the end of the season. There's no doubt about that. Just depends on how many of these bumps in the road that they're going to have. But yeah, I think they'll be okay. Next, we've got another one that was a bit of a shock, but given current form, not necessarily that much. Rochdale 1, Halifax 2. Mark, how did you see this one?
I didn't see it coming at all. But you see the form that Halifax are on, and I have gone on about how good Adam Lakeland is as a manager, and he's proven it. And they're gonna do well to keep hold of him. Same as Scunthorpe with Andy Crosby as well.
Butler.
Andy Butler. I thought it was Andy Crosby. That must have been many years ago. Many years ago. I'm old. Leave me alone, please. But yeah, he's made some good signings. Will Harris was looked at from Spennymoor. What's he doing? He can score, but he knew who to sign from Kings Lynn, and Hamami is so good. He's so good, so good. If he was to move on from Halifax, get a 6-figure tag on his head now. Get your money's worth. Rochdale, we've seen them come back from the results before, but they had teams that you thought might be a little lower down are starting to come up, as we'll mention another one in a couple of games' time. And those are it's always the quiet ones that you have to look out for, and Halifax are one of the quiet ones.
Yeah, I mean, again, I looked at my notes before we came on, and Halifax have won 5 in a row. They had a bit of a shaky start, because I think I predicted them to be in the playoffs. And I remember worrying, thinking, oh man, I've overestimated them because they'd had a really shaky start. But they're up into the playoff places now on the back of 5 wins in a row. And like I say, Rochdale, it's a bump in the road, similar to York, bit of a bump in the road, but they'll be fine. They'll get over it. They'll get back to winning ways. I'm sure Manny D will start scoring again at some point after he haunted us at Brooklyn Park.
Too much on him though. They've got to get the likes of Devante Rodney scoring as well. Yeah, it can't be just a one-man team. They've all got to pull together.
Mm-hmm. Craig, how did you see the game, mate?
Yeah, blip in the road for Rochdale, especially on a day when all the teams around them were dropping points, other than obviously Carlisle later on, and Scunthorpe. Got to keep mentioning Scunthorpe in a good light there. But yeah, Hamani was fantastic again, or Hamani, however you pronounce it. Not doing good with his pronunciations tonight. But he's been excellent. Six goals this season from midfield, and I say from midfield. There was a couple of games he actually slotted into their back line as well, so shows his versatility. Started slow. I hadn't predicted them to win all season. I've got a little bit of stick from Halifax fans, but they've seen that train is very much moving for them now, and maybe their expectations are now starting to align. They were expected to be in and around the playoffs again. It's taken a little bit of time for the adjustment of the new manager, but they're on fire now, and 5 in a row, as you said. We're going to talk about Yeovil later and teams like that. Just getting some wins under your belt consistently can fly you up this table very quickly. And they've gone from looking over their shoulder to thinking, right, we can be in the playoffs now. But still a long, long way to go. And suddenly you could lose 5 in a row and then you're back in and in a lot of trouble. But yeah, really good from them. Some excellent finishes from the man himself as well, and long may it continue for them.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. You know, you say there about you can easily win 5, then you can do. This is what happens in the National League, isn't it? When the games come so quick and so thick and fast that it can
Look at
easily go
Wilson.
one way or could easily go the other way. Yeah, I mean, we'll come to some other teams that are struggling as well, where they're on a bad run as well. I know me and Mark talked about one in particular before we went live as well that Mark will be
Oh,
smiling
didn't
about.
we, Joe?
But yeah, so like I say, because the games are coming thick and fast, it's easy to get on a good run. Keep trying to sustain it's going to be the hard part because you can't win every game. So it'll be interesting to see how Halifax react down the line when they get a bit of a bump and maybe lose a game. See how they carry on from there. But
See
no,
how their
all the
pitch
credit.
holds up. That was
Yeah,
one of
well,
the
yeah.
problems last season. Their pitch was detrimental to them. If they can keep the postponements to a minimum, then they'll do well. They'll do well.
Yeah. Look at the one at the moment. Hopefully, there wasn't an anomaly on the day. There was a lot around them that struggled as well, weren't there? The Blackburn one going forwards as well. So hopefully they can get it
Not
sorted.
a Charlie though.
Games.
No, not a Charlie, not a Charlie. Next,
Yeah,
we've got the game I
though.
watched. I watched on Tuesday night, which was Morecambe 2, Gateshead 5. I mean, I just want to cover this a little bit before I come to you guys. I actually couldn't believe my eyes, even though I could because of the conversations we've had about what the manager wants to do at Morecambe and wants them to play this incredible football and things like that. But I said to Mark before we went live about they're trying to run before they can walk. I just don't understand it. I was watching it and it was just that definition of insanity that I seen with Williamson at Carlisle last season, where it's like he would literally rather be 4-0 down after 12 minutes playing his style of football than adapting and not being 4-0 down. And it's just, I just can't get my head around it at all. The fans seem to be really getting restless. There was a lot of boos ringing out. There was a lot of unhappiness around. I noticed on social media as well. But in the ground, the boos rang out. And just no excuse for it. You can't be 4-0 down after 12 minutes against a Gateshead side that struggled, that got beat 5-0 at Woking. You know, it's not like, not that it's acceptable with anyone, but it's not like Barcelona came knocking, you know, or something like that. No offence to Gateshead, obviously. They did play some nice stuff, but Morecambe was so wide open. The midfield was non-existent. Defensively, they didn't know what to do. Playing out from the back, losing the ball. But repetition, it was just the same stuff. Definition of insanity. Craig, what did you make of this one?
Yeah, so after Gateshead played Braintree on Saturday, I came on here on Sunday and said that Gateshead were the best footballing side we played this season, which may have been a shock when they were winless in 6 before they come and played us. But some of the football they played on Saturday was magnificent, and they won, and they took that confidence, I say, into this game, but into the first 12 minutes. Let's give them as much credit as we criticise Morecambe. Some of the passing moves for the goals, they're playing off new ball, one-touch football, little connections, and I think it was the second goal was just brilliant goal. I think it might have been the left back who got hooked later on, tried to play the man offside, but there was a couple of connections, through ball, and then there was the third goal. I think it was they played a couple of triangles on the edge and just shifted it across to the extra man, and then they were clinical. We talked about XG, but I don't think they had major chances here. They were just clinical in front of goal as well, and fair play to them. But yeah, Morecambe, there was some fans calling for his head on social media and saying that it's time for a change already. But like we said, they're trying to run before they can walk. Will he adjust and will he try and stabilise? He certainly should try, but some people are very not stuck in their ways. They're adamant their way is the right way. It's their way or the highway for them. And unfortunately, if he gets many more of these, the pressure is going to build and build and build. And it might be the highway for him.
I agree. I think I've seen they've conceded 32 goals so far this season.
Yeah.
And obviously,
average of 3.2 a game.
Yeah, you've got to bear in mind they've played a lot less games than everybody else as well, due to obviously the circumstances. It's not a good look. But I agree. I was maybe not overlooking. I was overlooking Gateshead a little bit there because some of the goals were really good passing moves, like Craig said, and again some really ruthless finishing, which was great to see as well. But I think once the first couple went in, the fact that Morecambe didn't adjust, they were asking for trouble after the first couple went in. And it probably could have been more, to be honest. It probably could have been. Mark, how did you see this one?
Superb win for Gateshead. especially away from home as well. I mean, you go, and it doesn't matter who it is. It doesn't matter who it is. You go away from home on a Tuesday night, get yourself 5 goals and 3 points. That is a job well done, and they can be very proud of themselves. Gateshead, Alan Armstrong can certainly be proud of himself because that is now something to build on. Now, as for Morecambe, I did ask Dave last week whether the leaking bottle of methylated spirits was near the manager. It must have been near the defence and the goalkeeper as well. I've never, I've seen some of the goals, and I've never ever seen such a calamitous lot. I mean, this is the problem with signing so many players. You don't know who to play if they've never played before. Throwing them into a game is not the way to do it. 36, 37 players was an outrageous amount. They should have, at least 12 of those shouldn't be there. 12 of those shouldn't be there. A more reasonable, tight-knit squad is what Morecambe needed, but it was just signings for signing's sake. And now I've seen the Morecambe fans wondering if when Derek Adams is going to come back for the 600th time or something daft like that. But no, it's been dolloped on a plate for them. It's too much. It's way too much for them. And if their idea now is to think, he's no good, let's replace him with somebody else. No. You've got to trust in the players you brought in, but they brought in too many. So who do you play? Who do you trust? And the ones who aren't playing will then get restless. One of them's gone to Ashton United already.
Yeah, I think the problem with that, Mark, is they bought their initial wave in to get players in immediately to fulfil that first set of fixtures.
The set of fixtures, but then it carried on.
The second wave, it hasn't hit the ground running. Now they're maybe on the loans, and the third wave, like you said, when's it going to be enough, and when they're going to maybe have to terminate some contracts and just get a tight knit, because it's probably too much at training with 30 lads knocking on the manager's door as well every week, asking if they're starting or not.
They've still got Jan Songu there, who will run through walls for him. He's a very good player. 2 ex-Mac boys, Paul Lewis and Ben Tollett, real good players. But I don't think I think it's only Songu who's been playing regularly, and Tollett showed when they played Altrincham how good a player he is, and he is a good player. He's a good player. But I don't know, they've really got to sort it out. But no risk, no reward. They're taking the risk and getting no reward. And they've really got to rethink it, because the greatest playing team in England in 4 months, he'll be fired by then.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny because we've obviously said he'd said himself just by the end of October. Well, we're heading into October and they're still getting beaten like this. It's like he might not see the end of October if he gets a couple more results like this. Because, like I said, the fan base are already getting impatient and stuff. So we'll have to wait and see with them.
Once the fans start calling for a man who's been there time and time again, trouble. Trouble's on board. But I mean, if they are going to have a look elsewhere, then try a different manager. You're not Barnett with Martin Allen, who's been there about 90 times.
Yeah, I mean, they could do worse than just rehiring Derek Adams. To be fair,
They have done worse. That's the problem.
Yeah, that's what I mean. That's what I mean. Like, I wouldn't put it. I wouldn't say it was a bad idea, personally. But we'll wait and see. You never know. They might win at the weekend, and all's forgiven. You never know. You never know. You never know. Football can be fickle
sometimes.
Football can be fickle. Next up, we've got Sutton 1, Yeovil 2. Yeovil are absolutely flying at the minute. Mark, I'll come back to you, mate. How did you see this one?
Well. Richard Dryden's certainly doing the business, certainly stamping his authority down. Not bad for a temporary manager. As you may have seen, Danny Webb has now gone back to Chesterfield as assistant manager. Whatever went on there, I think Dryden was the choice, but you've always got to see what happens. Sutton have just appointed Chris Agata as their new manager today, and let's hope he's a bit more astute in the transfer market than what they were at the start of the season. You know, when they put all their eggs in one basket and now have dropped them all. But yeah, Yeovil, too big a name to struggle, but with who are above them, not big enough to really get hold of the ghoulies and crush them. But I have been wrong before, but not often.
I like that. Yeah. So obviously Sutton's appointed the new manager today. Hopefully that can turn their fortunes around for them. For obviously Louis,
Not
who's
yet,
been
though.
on the
Not yet.
oh yeah, that's true.
Oh, and why was
After
that
the
then,
weekend,
Craig?
after the weekend, hopefully they can turn it around for Louis, obviously who's been on the show before and is one of our co-hosts as well. So hopefully for them. But Craig, how did you see this one?
Yeah, so we've talked about fans being disheartened and everything. We'll go back to 7-8 days ago with Yeovil fans when all this went down with Richard Dryden coming back in, Jerry Gill getting appointed assistant manager. It was all doom and gloom. Then they went to Aldershot, put on a performance and won 4-1. They won at home against Altrincham, and then they've won 2-1 away to Sutton. So 2 away wins and a home win in a week. And I'm just getting a table up in front of me now, and they're sitting in 10th. 2 points from the playoffs after Tamworth's result yesterday. I think at one stage this week they were sitting in that final playoff position. So credit to them. As we said, it can be a toxic place, social media. So let them enjoy these moments. And for them, they'll be hoping it's the start of a real good push towards those playoffs, because it is very open still after 11, 12, 13 games, depending on who you support. But yeah, they were excellent again against Sutton. A fairly even game. But the problem is for Sutton, they've had a lot of fairly even games this season, and they've always come out on the losing side of them. So maybe it is that lack of experience, that lack of maybe tactical nous on the sidelines, which may change with their manager, game management. But for Yeovil, deflected goal on the penalty, but 3 weeks ago or even 8 days ago, they'd have gone the other way. The deflected goal would have just gone wide the post, and the penalty wouldn't have been given. When you're on form and your luck's in, and they'll be delighted with that. And like we said, full steam ahead for them.
Yeah, so you're so right. You know, if they'd lost the last 2 games, those don't happen last night. It's football, isn't it? You know, it's like Morecambe are on this horrible run at the moment as well, and it's like, if you know, when you're on a horrible run, these deflections, these bounces, these decisions just don't go your way. But if you're flying high and you're doing well, they go the other way. It's just weird how it works. But yeah, all the credit to Yeovil for turning it around, because after the start they had, I think we all kind of pretty much gave up hope of them having, you know, even like a decent season. So again, credit to them. Next, we've got Solihull 0, Woking 3. Woking again, showing that the dry toast, showing that they're capable of comfortably beating sides. Obviously, they beat Gateshead 5-0, like I mentioned earlier, and then 3-0 here. Craig, how did you see this one?
Yeah, when things go well for Woking, they seem to go really well. And goodness me, Neil hardly needed that, because the pressure was really starting to crank up on him. They were sitting on 9 points from 12 games before this one, and they'd only scored, despite scoring 5 against Gateshead, they only scored 11 in that time. So goals are very hard to come by, because they've only conceded 17, and there's a lot of teams that have conceded more than them. Halifax, Tamworth, Yeovil, Wealdstone have all conceded the same or more, and they're a lot higher up the league. Gateshead have conceded 29. So it's been scoring that's been a problem for Woking, but they've done it twice in clusters now. They'll probably be hoping for a couple of easy 1-0s, 2-0s along the way now, not having to lose 3 or 4 and then go and win a big one convincingly. But yes, Solihull look poor on the day. They got done by a couple of really basic goals. One of them was just a long throw, which Aaron Drew headed in, couple of cutbacks, just really, really poor goals to concede. And obviously lots for their new manager to mill over and really think about. And for them, it's one they've got to write off. But Woking will be hoping it's that springboard going forwards, because they haven't scored enough goals this season so far. They're one of the lowest scorers. So, yeah, hopefully onwards and upwards for them. But we said that about every team, and it can't be onwards and upwards for everyone, I'm afraid.
Yeah, and it's true. And we said that after the Gateshead win, and then they went and got beat the next game. So we'll see what they can do. See if they can be more consistent. Mark, how did you see this one, mate?
Dry toast finally put some butter and jam on, but how
Some jam
how
as
long?
well.
Jam as well. I mean, 8 goals in 2 games. You can't really argue with that. But as Craig pointed out, it was badly needed because they don't want to get stuck in a rut like Solihull have. But Chris Millington's only just got there. I mean, he will take stock of who's hot and who's not, and they'll get him playing. They'll get them playing in his way. But a 3-0 trouncing really won't satisfy the home crowd, which was about, what was it, 689 or something. So it was pretty low. But then again, when you're not doing so well, I mean, a Tuesday night against Woking doesn't think, do you know what? A couple of pints down the pub and we'll go to that. But yeah, Chris Millington, if he's allowed to bring in players that he knows will improve the squad, then it won't last forever, but it can't last any longer. But yeah, Woking butter and jam on your dry toast this week. But let's see if it actually stays that way.
Yeah, we'll wait and see. Like I say, we said exactly the same.
See. I mean, it has a habit of kicking itself in the arse. Let's face it.
Well, we said exactly the same when the big Gateshead 5-0, and like I say, and they followed it up with a defeat. So we'll wait and see.
Someone got excited about Truro winning 5-0, and look what happened. But we'll cover that in a bit.
That's true. And then the last of our deep dives. I want to come to Mark with this one because this will put a smile on Mark's face. Which was Altrincham 1, Tamworth 2. Obviously, Tamworth. I've just looked there, unbeaten in 6, up into the playoff places. I think I looked through their fixtures. They've lost 3 of their first 4 games, but they've only lost once since then, which is just absolutely incredible. Manager's doing a great job. The scoring goals, because we're worried where the goals were going to come from after Dan Creaney leaving, things like that. But the scoring goals, the picking up results, and like Mark said earlier as well, it's them teams that you don't really think about that much creeping up, like we said about Halifax as well. So yeah, massive credit to them. Altrincham in a world of trouble, in my opinion. Mark, I'll come to you first, mate. What did you think?
Oh boy, howdy, aren't they? Fifth from bottom because they really haven't gone and replaced the main problem that they're having at the moment, and that is getting the goals that Alex Newby and Regan Linney were scoring. They have Jimmy Knowles. Jimmy Knowles was scoring, but now he's injured. They do have a winger called Lucas Weaver. And every time he's been on, he has done the business. They really do rate him highly, but not highly enough to give him a regular run of games. I would say to Phil Parkinson, because he's only a young lad, but trust in him. If people can see it, give it a go. But Andy Peaks at Tamworth, I know our old mate Jas, he'll be happy with 3 points and everything like that. But again, it's the teams who you don't discard, but you don't really go out of your way to look for. And Tamworth, no disrespect to Tamworth, best team Mac played in the FA Cup, according to Jas. No problem there. And it's tried and trusted how they do it as well. Their plans will never change, and now I think they're up to 7th, I believe it is. 7th in the table. And, Andy Peaks is doing so well for, an unfancy team. And he probably tells their players, look at what people think of you. Yeah, look at 7th place and being on that run. That's what people think of you now, because that's what it is in the table. Yeah, but Altrincham, from a Mac perspective, this is great viewing, but from an Altrincham perspective, again, like Woking, like Sutton, like Solihull, they cannot let it linger Otherwise, they are in deep doo-doo.
Nice save. I like that. Jazz would have been proud of that save.
Oh,
Craig,
boy.
what did you make of this one, mate?
Yeah, so it's funny really because we've just talked about Woking and obviously not scoring enough goals, and they've scored 15 and conceded 17. Tamworth have scored 16 and conceded 17. So they've only actually scored one more goal than Woking. But like we said, they've had them 1-0s, those 2-1s, those nitty gritty wins we talk of. They
all add up.
They know how to get them. They're not scoring 3 or 4 every week. They're not smashing teams off the park. They're not looking like the fantastic football team, but they're looking like a proper footballing side. They know what to do to win a game. And yesterday they went 1-0 down, and then what did they do? They scored from a set piece, and they scored a header, and then the second goal they won the second ball from a set piece and got a deflected winner. Like, is it vintage football? No. Is it going to put you on the edge of your seat? Yes, if you're a Tamworth fan, because it's resulting in goals. But yeah, at the end of the day, they're doing what teams down the bottom should be doing. They're not trying to play vertical passes and play it out from the back. They're doing what they are good at. And because other teams are not quite hitting their heights, they're sitting 7th in the league. They're one of those teams like Halifax, like Yeovil at the moment, that will just want the games coming thick and fast. They're absolutely flying at the moment. So what, they're part-time. They're in such a good place at the minute. They just want games coming thick and fast. And for them, they'll be thinking now, maybe turn their attentions back to the FA Cup after this weekend. Can we go and get further in there, because we're on a great run at the moment. And yeah, for the probably the most part-time team in this league, I know Willstone are partly, Truro maybe a little bit, Brackley. What an example!
Truro full time.
Truro are, sorry.
Yeah.
But yeah, what an example Tamworth are to them. Just go out, get your recruitment right. Yes, we'll lose players, but we'll find somewhere. Creaney's gone, or Manny Doku coming. He's done very well for them up front. Like, they're just doing everything right, and it's a credit to Andy Peaks, and that is why when we come together on Sunday, he'll be in our nominations for Manager of the Month that's going out to everybody. I'll give a spoiler for that one now. But
spoiler alert.
Yeah, he definitely deserves it, and he's in with some really good players, but that is where my vote would be going on that one. I think they've been excellent, and I love teams punching above their weight. I really do.
Yeah, I mean the football fan in me pulls for teams like Tamworth, because we've talked about Morecambe and this whole project, and they want to play this nice football and things like that. And it's like Tamworth just want to get results. They don't care if it's pretty, if it's ugly, if it's a deflected shot, if it's a 30 yards. As long as it goes in the net, they aren't bothered. You know, and I love that about football teams, because it's a dying art, in my opinion. I said this to Jazz when he was on the podcast with us. I was like, I like it because you know that he's good at set pieces. You know, with the Tom Tonks long throw, you know what your roles are, and you do them well. Teams that come to your place in particular. So when, you know, Morecambe go there, Carlisle go there, teams like that, they'll struggle there because Tamworth know that just long throws, set pieces, and these teams that want to play nice football will get found out there. So I pull for teams like that because, like I say, it's an example to these part-time teams that it can be done. You can mix it with the best teams in the league and, you know, climb that tip. Do I think they'll sustain it? Who knows? Depends on injuries and things like that, you know, with the squad that they've got. But at the minute, just enjoy the positivity and ride that wave because they deserve it. They're doing incredibly well. And like you said about Altrincham, I think they've lost 5 in a row now. They seem to be in free fall. They need to stop that flow pretty quickly, I would say. So we'll wait and see what they do at the weekend. I'm just checking my predictions, saying that we're going to come to predictions in a little while. We won't talk about mine. But yeah, Mark, we'll come to you next, mate. 6 in 6 minutes.
6 minutes.
If you want to round up the next 6 games for us, mate.
I certainly will. Now, before people start complaining on Twitter, which I know some of them will, it is down to the quality of the Tuesday and Wednesday games that some of them are appearing in the 6 in 6. So just, hey, there you go. Thank you. You moaning minis. We'll start off with Dan's Carlisle 3-1 against Hartlepool. We've got goals, a great goal from Cameron Harper, who took that very well, very centre forward-esque. George Kelly coming in, looking in, you can reliable player. Morgan Feeney getting back to fitness, and as the regular defensive duo haven't been exactly brilliant, shall we say. He'll be stating a claim there. Jermaine Francis for Hartlepool. Their dreadful run continues, and if he's not careful, Grayson will be asked to leave and shut that door. So, and the second game, Truro 0, Eastleigh 2. It's the hope that kills you sometimes. My God, apologies for getting all good. No, actually, I don't apologise for getting giddy all last week. It was a momentous occasion, but not this one. Eastleigh, you got the new manager in, and it's working wonders already. Temitope Iweka and Aaron Blair with the goals. Truro, come on, John. Come on, you're letting me down now, mate. Then Brackley 0, Wealdstone 2. Wealdstone still wanting that top 10 spot. Enzo Bodavin and Mika Obero with the goals. Brackley, they'll be glad that Gavin Cowan's staying. He's done well to get them up from the bottom all the way to mid-table at the moment. So, but I think they'll be glad that he stays. Now that news has gone away, they can concentrate more on the football. And now to the draws. Borehamwood 1, Southend 1. Matt Rush on a goal rush. Oh, he's playing well at the moment, and Southend stopping the rots with a draw, but they need to get. We know that they're better than that. Josh Walker got the goal, but any team that's going to go to Borehamwood is going to be up against Luke Garrett's side, and yeah, my feelings about Luke Garrett are very, very high. But Matt Rush, so good at the moment. His goals coming in very handy. Aldershot 1, Braintree 1, and one player who's been very, very good this season has been Josh Barrett. Although I'm assured it was a deflection, Craig. Yep. Shay Cooper getting a very, very handy point away from home for Braintree, but the red card to James Bennings doesn't help a squad that's already got several players missing already. So, Saturday will be very telling. And the last one, Boston 0, Forest Green 0. And as Little Richard said, you keep on knocking, but you can't come in. And that was that was for both teams, although Boston apparently could have won it in the end, but Forest Green remained top. Unusual for them not to score any goals. And Boston with a clean sheet. So I hope that the goalkeeper's girlfriend will be happy this week as well. Good on you, love.
No, that's grand, Mark. Well done. That was great. Some good pronunciations of players as well there. I was very impressed.
Putting us to shame, then.
You what? Sorry, Craig?
Putting us to shame there with his pronunciations.
I know. Showing us up.
I'm becoming more of the Des Lynam of this thing, with the hair and everything.
You just have to shave the beard and just have the moustache. Des Lynam.
Hey.
But yeah, no, so thanks for that. And just before we move on to the predictions, just wanted to thank everybody who's been watching the podcast. We had a target for September, which was to get to 500 subscribers. We've smashed that. We're up to, I think, 512 last time I looked. So thank you to everyone for doing that.
If you haven't 50 by Christmas.
Yeah, if you haven't done it already, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. We're trying to get to 750 by Christmas. Hopefully by this time next year, 1,000. We'll just want to keep making the podcast the best it can be for us. And obviously we've had extremely amazing guests on. If you haven't seen our Robbie Savage episode, please head back and watch that after you've watched this one.
More to come.
And we've got more guests to come, like Mark says. So stick with us for all the great National League content and obviously reviewing games and getting players, managers. And like I said, there's more exciting guests to come. So don't forget to like and subscribe. And if you want to listen as well, you can head over to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, everywhere you get your podcasts, and follow us on there as well. But yeah, thank you everyone for your support. So we'll move into our predictions. Sam is our guest this week, who works with us at the deck. He hosts the newly nominated League One Lowdown for content, for the deck as well. So if you want to head over there and watch that as well, if you're into League One, feel free to head over there as well. But thank you, Sam, for giving us your predictions. Craig, I'll let you take over and tell me how badly I did on my predictions this week.
Yeah, so a very low scoring week this week. Obviously, Halifax winning away at Rochdale, Scunthorpe winning away at York. Some draws in there that maybe we didn't expect, that there wasn't too many points. Louis, our co-host, played for the guests again. He won the week with 9 points with one perfect result. I came second with 7th. He also got a perfect score as well, which was Boreham Wood Southend, I believe, on that one, the 1-1 draw. Mark got 6th, and Mark actually this week got the most results kind of correct in general, getting the teams correct. But unfortunately, no predictions correct. So it was 6. So it was 9, 7, 6, and then Dan.
How many did Dan get? Dan
got 1 out of 12 right. And for the life of me, Dan, I can't remember which game that was. So we'll move on for you, shall we, sir?
I can't even remember myself, to be fair.
I think you tried to erase this one from all of our memories straight away.
Yeah, I've got that, the flashing light off Men in Black. It's nothing to see here. Nothing to see here.
But yeah, so moving on to this week, I'm scoring 60 points. I'm getting 12 perfect results. So
I love your optimism.
Have you got some methylated spirits there as well, Craig?
To be fair, my partner did just bring me in a drink. I can't guarantee what was in it.
So what's the scores overall? Have you got the overall table?
I have indeed. So it hasn't changed much.
No.
The guests have gone over the 200 mark to 204. Dan's on 173. I'm on 164, and Mark's on 149. So there is 55 points between top and bottom. Right.
I only got you to say that. I only got you to say that to put a bit more respect on my name, a little bit, to save a bit of face there.
Oh, the respect on your name because you're the host. Look at mine. People are going to listen to this and think, what on earth is this guy talking about? You don't know nothing.
Because I had such a bad week, I wanted to point out that I still am second in the predictions. But yeah, so we'll get on to the predictions. Craig, I'll come to you first. Gateshead Boston is the early game, I believe. What have you got for this one?
I'm a big fan of Gateshead at the moment. 3-1.
3-1. Yeah. For me, I've got 2-1 Gateshead, and so does Sam. Both got 2-1. Mark?
Gateshead on a roll, and Boston's goalkeeper wants to keep another clean sheet to keep everybody happy. 2-2.
2-2. Next, we've got Braintree Sutton. Mark, I'll come back to you first, mate. What have you got for this?
Now, Craig has just said that he's got a drink. Well, what the strength of it is unknown to us, but he may be questioning what I've had to drink, because I think the Braintree are going to do this 2-1.
Nice. Craig?
I'm more positive. I've gone clean sheet. I've gone 2-0 Braintree.
Oh.
Nice. Sam's gone 1-1, and I've gone 2-1 Braintree.
Oh, you would, wouldn't you?
To be honest, when I found out Sutton had got a new manager, I did think then I was going to maybe go for Sutton, but I don't even, unless he's a miracle worker, I don't see that happening. But...
Well, apologies to Braintree now. The curse has been put upon you.
Next, we've got Eastleigh Solihull. I'll go first, just so it doesn't look like I'm, copying. Eastleigh, I've got Eastleigh 3-1 against Solihull. Sam's gone optimistic and gone for an absolute crackery, and he's gone for 3-3. Craig, what have you got for this one?
Eastleigh 4-1 winners.
And Mark?
Oh, the methylated spirits has been out, like handing it out like sweets at the moment. Yeah, I'm gonna go 1-0 Eastleigh.
So we're pretty unanimous, give or take, but obviously Mark thinks there's going to be a lot less goals. Next, we've got Halifax Brackley. Mark, what have you got for this one?
Halifax on a roll at the moment, and I think that roll is going to keep on rolling. 3-1 Halifax.
Yeah, I've got 2-0 Halifax, and Sam has 1-0 Halifax. Craig, have you got a full house?
Yes. So 14 game weeks in, and I've finally predicted Halifax to win a game. So the people that have been getting at me on X or Twitter, whatever you call it these days, who has said, Craig always predicts us to lose. I haven't this week. 1-0 Halifax.
Hey, that should please some people. You'll probably upset a Bradley supporter instead.
I'll upset the Halifax fans when they then lose.
Yeah, it's true. Next, we've
what's
got
happening.
what looks like it could be a good game. Forest Green, Rochdale. Craig, what have you got for this one?
Tough one to call. I think Forest Green will win it 2-0.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's one of them games that looks too tough to call. And what do I normally do when it looks too tough to call? I bring Desmond. I bring Desmond out. I've got Desmond. I've got 2-2, and Sam's got 1-1. Mark.
Well, you can probably tell by the look on my face the moment you said 2-2, because I've got 2-2 as well.
Desmond always gets a mention. He always gets a mention.
He certainly does, more times than often.
Next, we've got Hartlepool, York. Mark, what have you got for this one?
Well, this could be a battering, and as I say, old Simon Grayson could be told to shut that door, because York are going to win this 3-0, and that could be curtains for him.
Yeah, Craig.
Exactly the same. Exactly the same. I was even going to say maybe Grayson's last game, 3-0 York.
Yeah, I've got 3-1 York, and Sam's got 2-0 York. Hartlepool's going to shock us all, aren't they? Hartlepool's going to shock us all.
There you are.
Next, we've got Southend Aldershot. I'll go first. I've got Southend 2-0, and Sam's got Southend 3-1. Craig?
Same as Sam, 3-1 Southend.
Mark, what have you got?
Going to go Southend 2-1.
Next, we've got Tamworth Morecambe, two top opposite sides of the spectrum of what we just talked about on the podcast. So this should be interesting.
Oh, boy.
Craig, what have you got for this one?
Tamworth will find the net 3 times in this one. 3-1 Tamworth.
Mark?
I'm going to go just that little bit higher. 5-0 Tamworth.
Jeez, whoa. Fair enough. I've got 3-1 Tamworth. I've got 3-1 Tamworth, and Sam has 3-2 Tamworth. If it is 5-0, honestly, Mark, that's impressive. Next, we've got Wealdstone against Altrincham. Mark, I'll come to you first for this one.
Wealdstone will keep on going. Altrincham will keep on going. 3-0 Wealdstone.
Big one. Craig?
2-1 Wealdstone.
Yeah, I've got 2-0 Wealdstone, and Sam's got 2-1 Wealdstone. Next, we've got Mark's favourite team and his one of his least favourite teams. We've got Dry Toast Woking against Truro. Mark, what have you got for this one?
Oh, blimey. Well, Truro lost in midweek. Woking had the butter and jam effect, so it's going to be 0-0.
If there was going to be a game that was going to be 0-0, it was going to be this.
Craig? You better believe it.
1-1.
Yeah, Sam's got 1-1 and I've got 1-0 Woking. Next, we've got Yeovil Boreham Wood. I'll go for this. I've got 2. Desmond again. I've gone 2-2 in this one. Couldn't split them. I'm guessing I'll come to Mark because I've already guessed. Oh, Sam's got 2-1 Boreham Wood. Sorry, as well. By the way, Mark.
1-1. It's too hard to call. That's probably going to be the hardest game to call at the weekend.
Yeah, Craig.
1-1.
And next and last, we've got the half-5 game, Scunthorpe Carlisle. Mark, what have you got for that one?
Sorry, mate, but Scunthorpe are going to do you 2-0.
Craig?
Sorry, mate, but Scunthorpe are going to do you 2-1.
I'll say sorry to myself. I've got 3-1 Scunthorpe, and Sam's got 1-1. So I appreciate Sam's prediction, but I hope he's right, but I think he could be wrong. But yeah, and that's it for us. Obviously, keep an eye on our predictions, keep an eye on our social media. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe. Thanks to Craig and Mark as always for joining me, and we will be back at the weekend with maybe a guest. Keep your eyes peeled. But yeah, take care, everyone. See you soon.